Okay, guys. Good evening. Cheers, everybody. I hope you all are doing extremely well. You can understand why I was revolving on the chair around because I was into my own zone because of all these cool headphones. Oh my God. I believe everybody knows why I'm so crazy about these headsets because these were sent by my friend. And I guess I can't thank enough because today we have him live with us. By all means, you all have seen the thumbnail, but let me take a moment to rightly introduce this person. When I talk about community, the best part of the community is that I have learned from this the epics of Mahabharata, where Bhishma was trying to say to Karan that in this world, the relationship between the virtuous is more important than the relationship from the birth ones. And that what exactly I believe the community told me and teach me that yes, it's only depends on you how you open up the arms for others and others are equally welcome for you. Mother Teresa once rightly said, I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast the stone across the water to create the ripples. And that's what I have always believed. Our guest for tonight has always believed because in his own word, he always says one thing. I love what I do and I do what I love. He loves to talk about Kubernetes, Cassandra, community, Kubernetes, and many other parts, networking, hacking, hackathon, student, community building, whatever you can talk about, right? He happens to be an instructor, but today he's working as a developer community lead for data stacks. But more importantly, he's friend of mine, and I want you all to make the loudest noise that you have always been make like creating for me. And while I introduce him, I guess it requires him a right proper introduction. So I have a video for him, and once the video ends, he will be right back on the screen with us, just like magic that he always create with his talks. So without a further ado, let's welcome Sean on board, guys. Hey, Sean, cheers, buddy. I'll be
Cheers.
like that.
I know,
Let's do it one more time.
But I try. I'm trying to have the beer.
Yeah.
I know those are the rules for your show. I want to make sure that I, represent properly so that we all feel that we're one. For those of you who don't have a beard, don't worry about it. It's a pain. So it's just a lot of work. But thank you so much for having me, Rob. That was a wonderful intro.
So in our fashion, what I would say, Sean, means already we are the community people, but we traditionally coming from India, and we can't thank enough you to be here at Cheers with Gaurav. So namaste from entire team Cheers with Gaurav, and we welcome you all with all open hearts. Right. So thank you so much, Sean, for coming on to our show. And what I'm loving about, I have just one question. That you and me believe in one quote saying one world, one community. So according to you, what is that feeling that define community for you?
So for me personally, even before I was tasked to work with the communities for data stacks, I always felt that working on a common goal, regardless of whether it's tech or life or just social aspects, working on a common goal as a group will always help to further growth as a person. And by being able to have that growth as a person, you kind of are able to now share that with the world, right? So it's almost like a karmic growth spurt, right? By helping others, they're going to help you. And then by helping each other, we all grow. And because of that, I always believed in the aspect of a team, of a community, of togetherness, because I always feel that, by yourself, you don't know half of what we all know, together as a group. So hi, everybody. I see a lot of people saying hi in the chat. I just want to acknowledge everybody. I see you. I hear you. Thank you for being here today. And please ask any and all questions in the chat. I will try to respond as much as I can while Gaurav guides us through the process. Sorry, go ahead.
Definitely. And that makes the right statement. So I want to ask you, Sean, means you have been in the industry for decades now. What was the first encounter for you with the open source? Like when I was graduating, like when I started my college, I would say not graduating, I understood this part that this is going to be something really, really big. But what I understood after joining the industry that it is already a big that what I was expecting in 2012 and 13. So when was your first encounter with this open source world and how you discovered this that yes, you want to do more and more about it?
Well, I'll start off by explaining how I used to see open source so that the younger generation will understand this is normal. The way I used to see open source is if I can download it and use it without having to buy a license, that's open source for me. So that was the misconception that I had early on because I just wasn't aware of what open source truly was. As I started growing into a professional, actually taking my life seriously and not being a leech or downloader, I started looking into like, hey, wait a minute, there's all this great software out there that is being offered license free, right? You can use it whatever way you want. And that's kind of how I accidentally stumbled into the open source world where I got introduced to things like yourself, Red Hat, right? Red Hat was one of my first open source projects that I was actually interested in because it was something new, and I was like, oh, I can do all of this. I don't need a license. What is the catch? What do I need to do? What are they going to hit me with a bill afterwards? And it turned out that the open source world was so expansive that almost anything you can think of, there's an open source version of that. And once you fall into that open source, you kind of embrace the whole open source philosophy. It's very hard to look at anything other than open source. It's one of those things where you can create a career off of free. And that's something that's really, really cool to me. Something that is free, something that you can share with others, and you can still build a career and have a great life from it. That's why I love open source so much.
Rightly said, and that makes me more interested to ask you the question that I was having for you. Now, this is very strange, and I sometimes I laugh at myself that when I was preparing for my open source thing, that somebody will ask me this question: how you discovered open source? I was always building this story that we all drink water, and water is completely free, and that's what open source is all about. Like, right, means no religion, no caste, no state. Water is for everyone. It has a very simple base formula, H2O. Now, thing is, people have made some amendments, made some changes, made their addition to it, and they have started selling. So you made a right statement that every single time students start discovering about open source, it's all because of free. But why don't you tell our viewers that this free is exactly not the free that we use for English terminology, but this is the freedom that we are using. So I always wonder that how Bisleri is earning, how this Aquafina, or I would say all the packaged mineral waters, how these people are earning. And that's where I stuck that, okay, this is a great idea to pursue. So how is your thought on talking about free open source software, or I should say open source software? So want to add any thoughts to it?
Yeah, that's actually a great topic because as you indicated, it's a very linear definition between the two. And there's just slight nuances because basically open source and free open source, they refer to basically or essentially the same set of licenses and software that you work with. But the difference is each term implies different underlying values in each one of those avenues. So for open source, the whole concept is that it's all about collaborative forward progress versus free open source, where you can basically grab that software and just create your own version of it and run with it and do whatever you want with it without having to contribute back to it. So for me, while free open source is a great concept, I like the regular open source just because it's more about collaboration, right? Because if I want something for free, let's be honest, everybody here knows how to get stuff for free. I'm not promoting any kind of copyright infringement, but I'm indicating everybody knows how to get stuff for free. But after you have it for free and you're using it, now what? What's the next step, right? What if you have feedback? What if you're a great coder and you want to contribute features, or you want to contribute code, or you see something that you think you can make better? That's the part of open source that I love, that collaboration aspect. So to indicate towards the group that we have here today, I know a lot of the people who are joining us here today are either students who are about to graduate or just graduated. And a common question that we get asked a lot, and by we I mean Gaurav and myself, is how to get started in open source. What's going to be the benefit of open source? And this is where it becomes a true differentiator, in my opinion, between free open source and an open source project. If you are a contributor to an open source project, you will get acknowledgement for that. You will get praise. You will get mentioned. So you're basically adding to your resume, to your skill set, to your superpower, for the lack of a better description, when you go to other companies. Hypothetically, let's say you are a student and you contributed to an open source project of your choice. You can put that on your resume as actual work experience without ever having had a job. These are really special pieces that will make you stand out as a candidate for all the companies that you're trying to pursue. So there's kind of this mutually beneficial agreement between open source contributors and open source distributors, right? To give you the example, you had mentioned earlier, Cassandra is one of our open source projects. Now, even though DataStax technically created Cassandra, it is a completely open source project. There is no monetization, there's no marketing, there's no sales, none of that. It is by developers for developers, right? So if you are looking to be a participant in an open source project, you can just join and be silent. If you want to be an active contributor and actually start to gain skills and give proper functionality or code back to the project, it will help evolve the project into the next iteration, and you will be listed as a contributor. And I can, I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this before, where if you do the extra work, you get the extra credit. And this is why open sources will help everyone in their career development. You don't have to pay lots of money to do these expensive courses online. You can join an open source project, be a contributor, and earn, right? That's the crucial part. You earn those accolades, you earn that experience because you did the work. So that's the one tip I would like to give everybody who's here.
Now, you made a right point. Means open source, I always think that community owns it. It's all about you own that thing, right? Yes. And I guess that's wonderful explanation. And for all the people, while we are interacting a lot, please go ahead and check the video description, because there is a lot of things for you which is available. One of them is the Cassandra project, which I have pasted all the links, the forum, the Discord, the website, the blogs, every single thing. And there it comes, the another swag. So guys, excuse us for that, because we will get wow. So this is the Cassandra project. Okay, let me talk about again. So this is the Cassandra project that you can contribute to, being a student or being a professional. So guys, go ahead and check that out. I know you all are excited for the next part. Towards the end, we'll announce that winner for that we have committed, talking about the Cassandra who all have joined. So I hope we have the two lucky winners from that raffle that we have played about a few days back with you. But till the time, so Sean, I have believed in one thing, that being a leader, you always get a lot of credit. That, okay, I have a chance to meet with you in person. But I always try to pass this message to others, that leadership is not about the title or a position. Leadership is all about the actions that you take. So I have some of the leaders, winners, and achievers with me joined live today, though they were quite hesitant, but I have tried my best to convince them that, hey, look, you will be here, and I have no surprise that they are doing great, and they will keep on doing it from now onwards, even more by the help and guidance for you. So I have the first one up. So they want to have a live interaction with you. So Tanya, how you are doing? Over to you. Here you are on the stream. Over to you. Yes.
Hi, everyone. So first of all, thank you, Gaurav sir, for giving us this opportunity. So one question that I'm really curious about is that in these times of pandemic, as the world has switched to virtual mode, and everyone is just trying to cope up and stay in touch with people and communities and everyone, then how networking is playing its part in these communities as a whole?
That's actually a great question. So, as everybody knows, right, the world is suffering equally about this pandemic. It's not discriminatory. It doesn't matter how much money you have, you can still be susceptible to it. So the world, as a group, as a whole, it needed to evolve and change. While all the tools to be able to function were already there, it was all about implementing a regiment. And I feel that as we all grow through this process, the tech world specifically has found a way to not only provide people with the tools to be successful, but also to help them, right? And the reason why I say that is because you see people's approach to things are changing. It's no longer about us versus them, right? It used to be like, oh, well, this is our team and I'm only going to talk about our stuff. It's no longer about that, especially in the open source communities that we work in. It's all about each other, right? We embrace the other communities around us. They're no longer our rivals. And I think that that mindset shift has allowed it so that people can now look at projects for what they are and not as a rival. And I think that has kind of helped us grow into this new phase where everybody is willing to talk to everybody, just like us, yourself and some of your colleagues and friends. They have invited me here today. I am all the way over in the United States on the East Coast. I am originally from Europe. I know I don't sound like I'm from Europe, but it's just so that everybody here can understand me. My normal accent is really bad. As a little joke, if anybody wants to look at it, I will type it into the chat right now. Look it up on YouTube. That is roughly how I normally speak. And my wife, who is born and raised native English speaker, she can't understand a word I'm saying. She actually thinks it's a different language. So just, that's an indication of how we have grown together as one, and why the one world, one community has grown, because there is no more difference. A different country means nothing anymore. If you look at, for example, how some companies are growing, we at DataStax, for example, are a completely distributed company. We have people from all over the world in all different countries. We have them from all over the APAC region. We have them in India and Australia, Vietnam, Indonesia, China, Japan. We have them everywhere. Then we have our EMEA friends. We have our South American friends. We have our North American friends. We're everywhere, but we're one company. And that philosophy is being adopted by the bigger companies as well. We're all one. We're all in this together. I know I kind of went off on a ramble. I hope that answered your question. If not, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to change my answer. I kind of fell down a rabbit hole a little bit.
No, it was fine. And thank you for answering that. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay. So Tanya, I have a question for you, right? So Sean is also here and I'm there. So Sean keep on interacting with a lot of students and all the amazing people around the globe. You are here for the first time at Cheers with Gaurav. I want you to share the experience because we have roughly 300 people watching us live. So I don't know why they all are shy, but they are amongst you. And you have been that fortunate and you have been that courageous to take up that opportunity that, hey, I want to turn up and I want to ask something live. How you feel now and what is the message to all the youngsters or all the people who are watching?
What I would say would be to stand up and be confident. In these hard times when everything has become virtual, digital, people are trying to stay in their bubble. Even I, before starting my internship, was inside my bubble. I didn't want to come out of that and do stuff. But as I started working inside this corporate world and everything, I learned how to stand out and be confident. You can be wrong, but if you pitch your ideas and you're confident about it, it's always going to make you outshine others. And that is what I would like to convey to everyone out there. Don't be afraid or anything. Just stay out there, be confident, and pitch your ideas in. Yeah, and
Yes,
communicate.
Tanya.
Yeah,
I love
communicate.
it.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Yes, Sean, please.
Yeah, no, that is amazing, Tanya. That is the perfect message to anybody who is out there. It's like you said, your confidence will carry you forward. If you believe in yourself, your confidence will get you a step ahead of the others, right? If you doubt yourself, people will notice. So, for example, if you ask somebody, a math question and they're not very good at math, they'll stumble and be like, But if you ask somebody a question that they're very, very confident about, their answers will be really pleasant and it will just guide you through. So yes, be confident. And the second piece to add on to that, because you kind of already indicated that, is be bold, right? Be bold in your effort. Shoot for the stars. What's the worst that can happen? They'll tell you no. So what else changes in your life? If you look at an opportunity like, you know what, I want to go for that, and they say no thank you, what changes in your life other than you wasted 10 minutes applying for a job? Nothing. So this is the part where I love the way you said it. Be bold, be confident, take a chance, take a risk, go for it, shoot for the stars. Love it. It's amazing, Tanya.
So I
Thank
guess
you.
definitely that's the message. I was remembering one of the quote that I have heard somewhere, and Tanya, you exactly pass on that message that the golden way is to be the friends with the world and to regard the whole human family as one. Just think, people are same. Language is just a barrier which people think. But if you know what you have to convey, you will find out a way to convey that message. And thank you so much for telling us. Be bold. I'm all thankful to you to take that moment or pride and courage to be on the camera. And we didn't felt right, Sean, that she's coming up for the first time. So
No. Tanya is an
I didn't
experienced
know
veteran.
in
She
front
doesn't
of talking,
realize it yet.
I'm fumbling out. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
kudos to you. So kudos to you, Tanya. Thank you so much. I'll catch up in a minute with you while we have our other friends
Sure,
joining us. Okay.
sure. Thank you.
So the next person, Sean, is up. He's a person who mentors a community in his college. I still wonder how he's doing such things in the college days. I used to just go and have some fast food, growing up my tummy, nothing else than that. But this guy is participating in a lot of things. He also run his own YouTube channel. He's passing on a great knowledge to the students. So Sarthak, how are you doing, man? Cheers to you. So all the best
You're
part.
muted, sir. Sarthak,
So
you're
you are
muted.
Sarthak, you are on mute, man. You are on mute. Now he realized.
Hello.
Best
Sorry.
being in
Cheers
the-
again.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Cheers. So over to you and Sean, all the way up.
Sean, first of all, like your energy, what you have. I love the way you talk to the students, you talk to the fellow peoples. Thank you, Sean, for coming today, and thank Gaurav sir for inviting me. First of all, my first question is to what is community for you? When a student comes to you and ask what is community and how they can be the part of your community. So, what do you want to say? There are many students those who want to listen this answer. How they can be the part of your community?
That's a great question, and it's a hard question to answer, right? Because if you look up the definition of what a community is, it just means that a group of people that have a common goal, basically, right? That's what a community is. But when it comes to a community in our sense of the world, or our sense of the word, it's not just that we have a common goal; it's that we have found like-minded people who have a similar future goal, right? We're all working towards a future goal together. So especially when it comes to the tech world, the way I perceive community is that it has to be mutually beneficial to all participants, right? And this is where we use a cliche saying in English. It says, high tides raise all ships. Right. And that's the way all communities should be. That if you join a community, there has to be an equal or more of a give back to the people than that you ask of them. So the way the way the Cassandra project approaches it is we try to give 3 times as much as we ask. The only ask that we have is if you see something, if you want to contribute, if you want to ask, go for it. Ask us, tell us. We will work with that. We have an open, transparent development project where people can see everything that they put in is being developed as it goes along so that everybody can see why they're important. And the reason why we do that is because each individual contributor is one of those situations where they might not be able to contribute the full project, but each piece will help build that foundation to the next phase. So for a community, building a community, it's all about providing value, providing an experience, providing a journey. Because think about it. How do you build a community? I'm going to use a term, it's called stickiness, right? Because just one visit to your website or to your location where you gather, that doesn't guarantee anything. It's when they start coming back. That's when they become an actual community member. They're no longer transient. They've stuck around. So that stickiness aspect is very, very important. And when it comes to communities, I feel that value, experience, and journey are the 3 most important pieces of anybody joining a community.
Great. I think this was the best answer I get when I was asking how we can contribute and what are the advantages to be in the community. Sean, many of the students, also, many of the people are watching. They are student. I think they are first year student, second year student, not might be in the BTech or the student. They have a question from from me as well. When we are contributing to community, when we are contributing to open source, what are the advantage of contribution in the open source? Second thing, will these contribution will help them to get something, good job, connections, any networking type things? So I just want to ask this one. Yes.
Yes, those are two great questions. So, one, the benefit of contributing to an open source community is it helps you gain experience, because not only are you contributing code or feature requests or whatever it is that you're trying to contribute, you're also learning the process of product development, right? That's the piece that a lot of people don't understand. Your contributions allow you to be a part of the product development, because as you contribute, the product evolves. So you're already gaining that valuable experience. The second valuable piece for contributing to an open source project is it helps hone your skills and fine tune your skills. To give you an example, most people here probably are not fluent in CQL, Cassandra query language, for example. But Cassandra query language is very similar to SQL. So if you have a basic knowledge and understanding of SQL, you can transition into CQL. Now, boom, now you've learned a second query language. Boom, right? What if you're looking at, like, okay, I want to work with Apache. I'm using Apache Cassandra as an example, everybody, just so that you know, because that's what we work with. You're using Apache Cassandra as a database, but you are a Python person. You can set up a connection, right, through a driver, through an API, and you can start distributing your Python code against Cassandra. So now you are using what you already know, and you are now excelling it to something else, because now not only are you able to do Python, you're also able to apply Python to a third party. So this is now yet again an elevation in your skill level. So it's supposed to remain mutually beneficial. That's the crucial aspect of everything. You should get as much or more from your contributions for any open source project. That's the crucial element. If you are giving more than you get, that usually means that people are not willing to contribute, because there's nothing really valuable for them. They're no longer a valued individual member. They just become, another cog in the wheel. And that's the part that we're trying to avoid. And in my opinion, all good communities will always give more than they ask of everyone. That's a crucial element. And then, as you said, the networking aspect of it, that's the next part. Here's the cool part. What if you do some really cool contributions? People will see it. People will acknowledge it. And now all of a sudden, you're on the radar. To give you an example, Gaurav, he did the unboxing video of the headset, right? It's a very familiar headset by this point. And the way that Gaurav came onto my radar is because somebody shared that video, said, hey, look at this. This is super cool. I was like, I looked at it and I sent Gaurav a message immediately, because it was one of those things where I wanted to acknowledge his efforts. I wanted to acknowledge him taking the time in building that. And what came from it is now I was invited onto his channel, which is wonderful. But I've also been able to invite Gaurav back into our world as a judge for our hackathon, for example. And the reason why I make that little shameless plug is because I know a lot of you have already seen it, and a couple of you are already part of it. It allows Gaurav to be a judge and look at it from an outside-in perspective, right? Because if we only have internal people looking at everything, it kind of gets one-sided. Now you get somebody who has nothing to do with Astra, which is a different project. Sorry, I got the hiccups. And it allows you now to see whole new community that he previously wasn't exposed to. So now he's been exposed to a hacker community. He's been exposed to the Cassandra community. He's being exposed to the DataStax community, to the Apache Cassandra. See how we're all of a sudden we're joining, and I call these community gravitational waves, right? A single pebble in the pond creates many waves. Now, if you throw many pebbles, those waves will start to overlap. And that's the piece where we now see an evolution in community aspect. Gaurav can jump over to different places. I can jump over to different places. And we're providing value to others. And those people will then provide a value again to others. And this is how we grow. And that Once again, high tide raises all ships. So that's why networking is so crucial, because you're going to run into these people multiple times throughout your development as a person and as a professional.
Great. I think this is again one of the best answer that I get from community networking. Okay, just my last question from you: what are the tech stack we as a student need to contribute on your projects?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So depending on which open source project, we keep talking about Cassandra today. There's multiple open source projects that I'm working on. For example, we also have an API gateway called Stargate.io. I'm also working with a partner community, data on Kubernetes. There's many different things that we can look at. So it really depends. What is your interest? What are you trying to achieve? And then look at what kind of open source project would kind of fit into your skill set. So to give you an example, if you're not good with Kubernetes, Cassandra is not the way to go, because it's Apache Cassandra plus Kubernetes is Cassandra. So whatever your interest is, that's about finding the right kind of fit. And I would say this to everyone, because as a student, you oftentimes think, oh, I need to adapt to something else. That's a possibility if you want to expand who you are and what you can do. But if you want to continue down a path that is your passion, hypothetically, let's say, I keep using Python. Let's say Python is your absolute passion. That's your superpower. You can create Python code so pretty it'll make people faint, right? Imagine that's where you are. Why would you go and all of a sudden start becoming like a C developer? It doesn't make sense. You see what I mean? It's all about finding the right kind of fit. So for open source projects, even if you don't find the immediate fit, jumping on an open source project and learning the ropes is a great way to start. And then from there, you can jump on to a next thing. And for a lot of you who are here, there's many student ambassador options. Because I did see your question, Pulkit. There's a lot of student ambassador options out there.
Jaldi nicha.
Okay, I'll continue. So to give you an example, our hackathon, they have student community ambassadors. Data on Kubernetes have student community ambassadors. We have many other open source projects. They all have student community ambassadors. Now, initially you would think to yourself, okay, I'll become a student community, but what else? You just got your first job, right? You just got your first experience and your first job. You put that on your resume and it's going to make waves. Think about it like this. Every company wants somebody with 20 years experience who was born in 2015, right? And who will work basically for free. That's what every company wants, but that's not realistic. So how can you make yourself stand out is to look for opportunities to enhance your strengths, enhance your skill set, and be part of something bigger. You helped build something. That is going to stay with you forever.
I'm the only one who lost the voice, or yeah.
Oh, you're the only one who can hear my voice? Oh my goodness.
This is strange. Sarthak?
Sorry. Network issue. Sorry. In virtual world we have. Okay. Great. So it was nice to talk to you, Sean, first of all. And thank Gaurav sir for the opportunity. It was great. I got all the answer of my previous questions, what I have in my mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarthak. We'll join in a minute while you resolve all the network connections. Don't be worried, man. That's always this virtual world is all about the challenges, and we overcome it that way. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so Pulkit, I hope you got the answer, and what he replied, yes, that is exactly what he's looking. So what I want to tell you all people is that Sean just mentioned about this point that it's not about just one-way direction or one-way contribution. He helped me in getting onboarded as a judge for the Angel Hack community, and I believe many of you already know this, that I'm judge over there and you all are the student ambassadors. Apart from that, Sean also worked closely with Data on Kubernetes community. Bart Farrell, he's doing a great job. So they have been a primary sponsor to that part. And I guess many of the fellowship program. And Pulkit, you are already the ambassador for the Data on Kubernetes program. So all welcome and all kudos to you for spreading the right words. So just for that part, Sean, means I have believed in this particular phrase where we say that we have all known to this long loneliness. And what I can say, we have learned that only solution to this problem of getting loneliness or being when people says you that you are left apart or you are only the one who is struggling, is the self love. And I would say, or even if you consider this love, the love comes with the community. Be part of these others people life, spread the knowledge, and automatically the love will come back to you, right? So this is what I have been spreading throughout. And I know one person who is a self-taught guy. He loves to help the students to the best they can. And our next person, while because this is the guy who has troubled me a lot talking about the swag, so while I bring him on the screen, what I want to do is like I want to make some notes of it. And Sean, that this guy always makes me remember that we have a lot of things to do. And for all the viewers, why I'm like writing this part is up because of the Sean, because Sean has sent me this cool diary and this pen, so I keep on writing these notes since morning because I just bring it on from my sister's desk. But yes, guys, keep learning, and that's what I want to introduce the another friend, because otherwise he's gonna kill us. So yeah, Anand, welcome, buddy, to the stream. Over to you. And I hope this diary and pen is very good for making the notes and makes you keep alive. So big shout out to DataStacks and big shout out to Cassandra community for sending me these awesome swags. I'm in love with it. Over to you, Anand.
Thank you, Gaurav sir, for having me here, and thank you, Sen, for being here. And Gaurav sir, I'll see you backstage also. Okay, so yeah, okay. I think like most of the questions are already covered by Tanya and Sarthak. But okay, I'm a guy who thinks a little bit different. So during this phase of lockdown, I think that many students as well as professionals, like I have also started during this lockdown period only. They have started exploring the space of open source, which was not, in the bigger picture in 2018 or 2019 before the lockdown happened and, before COVID. So, what do you think that how much impact is this going to create as we move towards the journey in the upcoming years, like in the next 4 years or 5 years? Like, what do you think, like how much is this going to play the role among students, among professionals?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, just before the pandemic started, I think it was like about a year or two before that, there was already a shift happening in the major tech companies where more and more major tech companies were adopting an open source policy, right? That X amount of their network infrastructure has to be open source. Now, a lot of people think, oh, they're just trying to be free. But as Gaurav mentioned earlier, there's a difference between free, aka cost free, and freedom. So a lot of these companies, they're looking to engage in a more freedom approach into their network. So they don't want to be locked down for years with an expensive vendor that they can't get out of. They want to take more ownership of it. So as we got into the pandemic, open source kind of just got a boost, a mega boost, where all of a sudden it was no longer just a side project. People, as individuals as well as companies, were going to be involved heavier in the development, because now they're finding that they're a great open source project, but they're not quite mature enough to do what they need on an enterprise level. And individual contributors started to flood to the open source because they're like, oh, this is kind of cool. I like this. I get to do this. I get to project code. I can fork a GitHub project and do all these great things, right? So as we proceed through that, the developer voice has become more and more important. And when you talk to any developer, any professional developer in the world, one of the crucial elements for them is how can they do what they want to do without constraints, right? And that's where the open source contribution comes into play. They can now help shape the open source project into what they envision for a future, a final version, or a next iteration of it. So it's a really popular avenue to go down, the open source, because of the cut in cost. But my opinion on the matter is it's not about cost. It's about being able to have the freedom to shape things to your vision rather than having to adapt to somebody else's vision. To give you a perfect example, for me, it actually represents what Apache Cassandra is, right? When you think about here's where my age comes into play a little bit. When you think about when you went to college and you were taught databases, the back in the day in the 90s, right? The way it was taught is you throw all your data into your database and you figure out how to build your application afterwards, right? The database was leading. When we look at Apache Cassandra, and this is why I'm such a fan of Cassandra, regardless of data stacks, I was already working with Cassandra since version 1.2, but the beautiful part about Cassandra, and it's just, indicative of what we see technology go towards, is it's no longer about the data. The data is the least important part of building out your idea, right? Cassandra is the mirror opposite of your traditional relational databases, because you no longer throw your data in. You figure out what is the question you want to ask. Let's build a table to satisfy that question, and let me put the data in that table so that I can get the results for the question. So it is completely flipped the other way. And that's where open source comes back into play. It's no longer about, here is how it works, now figure out how you can make it work for you. It's now like, hey, this is the functionality, but if you want to create something more, if you want to improve, if you want to add certain features that are not part of it yet, that's where your contribution to the open source can be impactful, so that you can drive it towards a version that you can use in production. So now not only have you been able to create something in your own image, you've had the freedom to figure out how you need it to work to maximize its impact. And to me, that is open source in a nutshell. Long story long, that to me is how open source is and how we should perceive open source.
Cool. I think this was one of the app definitions and app explanation that should be there, and it's up to people that they have to realize it is like open source is now here, and we have to go take it ahead.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. It's on us, right? And now I just turned 40 last month, so I'm already officially old. But for all the students who are here right now, all of you, male, female, or otherwise, you are the future. Your generation is going to invent the next Facebook. Your generation is going to invent the next Instagram, the next Microsoft. That's what your generation is going to do. Now, whom is going to do that? I don't know. But every generation has been able to make a leap forward. My generation, unfortunately, brought you the Facebooks of the world, right? For those of you who are old like me, there was a very, very early on iteration that was very similar to what Facebook is now, but it just wasn't as refined. It was called ICQ, right? For those of you who are really old, ICQ, and especially the little noise that, you'll never forget that. It was raw. It wasn't refined. Facebook is the evolution of what the concept of ICQ was, for example. So the next iteration is all for you. Your contributions, your open source experiences, your projects, your ideas, all of it matters, because your generation is the one to make everything for the next generation. Because when your kids are going to be like, oh man, you only had broadband. For the people here, I used to have a 56K dial-up modem. It would take me 20 minutes to dial in, get a call back, dial back, and be online. It took 6 hours to download one MP3. Imagine that. Think about how easy it is to download an MP3 on your phone right now. Our phones are stronger than the space capsule that went to the moon, if you believe that. If you don't believe it, that's fine. No judgment here. But all of this, and this is, I'll bring it back to the open source. All of this is why it's important to participate, why it's important to contribute. And now, whether you want to do for Cassandra or some other project, I have no problem with it. Obviously, I am biased, which is why I'm not pushing for anybody to actually join my community. I'm just pushing for everybody to embrace open source as a concept and communities as a concept, because it will help everyone. And for those of you, because I know some of you have a question, Anant, this is for you, because I know you're building your own communities. A great resource, and he was the person who trained me personally, but a great resource to learn about communities and the theory behind communities and how to make it work is Jono Bacon. And yes, I said bacon as in the food, but Jono Bacon, he, for those of you who know him, is familiar. He basically helped build the GitHub communities and stuff like that. He is a wonderful person. He adds tons of free content for people online. He's written 6 books on community. So he literally wrote the book on community. I would recommend having a look at his philosophies, and he can explain it in a very concise manner about why communities are important and why for all of us here, it's important to be a part of a community. Whatever that community may be a part of it. So I'm going to plug my friend Anant here. Look at what Anant is doing. Look at his project. If you feel any kind of kinship with the project, join the community. Be a part of it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to join a community, and after 3 months, you're like, I think I'm good. Cool. Then you've had 3 months of an amazing experience with Anant and his community, right? So that is what I want to leave everybody with for the final piece of this question. When it comes to open sources and communities, join, be bold, take a chance. If you don't like it, you know what the best part about being online is? You can click exit or leave or whatever. Nobody's going to bother you. You're all good. It's all up to you to decide what you want to do. Go ahead, Anant.
I was just saying that escape works. Escape key works in the online mode. So
yes, it really does. And I know some of you are asking a couple of questions in the chat. For example, why should you join Cassandra? Other than it makes me look good, right? The reason why I like to tell people about Cassandra as a project is because I believe that having the most scalable database in the world, Apache Cassandra, working on Kubernetes is a perfect marriage. They work together so well. Now, is it easy? Is the product as refined as it is going to be? No. You're going to have to put in a little bit of work, right? You're going to need to know how to do Kubernetes or deploy Kubernetes. If you can't do that, we have learning options for you, and we have opportunities to guide you. But if Kubernetes is not your thing, Cassandra is not your thing. If APIs are your thing, Stargate could be your thing. If you like Linux, Red Hat is your thing. You know what I mean? There's many opportunities for you to look and find the right fit. And if I can leave anybody here with anything, I hope it's the motivation to look for something that inspires you, an opportunity to be a part of something more than just yourself. That's what I hope to leave everybody with. And Anant, I hope that kind of helps you out a little bit as well. I know I tend to ramble a little bit, but I'm Irish. I apologize. We chat a lot, which is why I like to be online and talk to people and teach, because I get paid to talk. So I apologize for rambling, everybody.
I think most of the doubts are already cleared, and listening to this, it's sorted. So
cool.
Over to you, Gaurav, sir.
Thank you so much, Anand, for all the good points you brought it up. Now, I'll see you in a minute while we have an important discussion completed up, and then I'll bring you, Tanya, and Sarthak again back to the stage. So, Sian, many of the people have got to know about Cassandra. I would say that yes, a great opportunity for everyone to learn. I have pasted, guys, all the links in the video description where we are talking about the Discord. Just go and join it up. It's an amazing platform. Also make some shout out to Team Cheers with Gaurav, and who knows, there will be some of your friends might be interested and can easily help you as well. So just go out and check that out, Discord channel. Also, the forum for Cassandra is also an amazing place to be at. I believe, trust me, when I have visited for the first time, I love that. Means the simplicity, how well they have scripted the things is very, very, very easy to understand. So please go ahead and check that out. While I promise you, because I have also created a video stating the same, that hey, if somebody joins the forum, somebody joined the Discord, and that was exactly not my idea. It was completely Sean's idea that hey, if somebody joins us, we can give something back to them. So Sean, we did this raffle about 2 weeks back. So do we have some winners for announce, or we are gonna go back directly to an email or something like that?
Well, we have some stuff to give away. Yes, we do. The only problem is there are many deserving of the prize, and I'm kind of feeling guilty about doing just 2 people. So what I'm thinking is, how about we look at this? How about the people who I'm going to send some cool stuff to, or we, Gaurav, it's us together. We're going to send some cool stuff to. Instead of doing 2 swag boxes, how about we take the value of said swag boxes and we spread it out and we give more people, less stuff, but more people something? How about we do the following, just so that everybody here hears it and everybody here can actually have an equal opportunity. For the first 10 people, right? 10 people who do something with code for Cassandra, we, Gaurav and myself, we're going to do a little follow-up video, and we're going to send everybody something really cool. And I don't mean you're going to get a sticker. I mean you're going to get something really nice. I don't want to ruin it just yet, but you know the way Gaurav likes his headset? I think I have an alternative that is not going to be the headset, but you're going to enjoy quite a lot. I'm going to give the first 10 people who do any kind of code contribution to Cassandra a special gift. And I know I'm not supposed to, but I can share a little bit. I can share. One second. I'm not gonna.
So people, you heard it right while Sean shows up you something, though he has shared the screen, but I'm not going to bring that up. But what I want you all to go, sign up for the forum. The video link has video description has all the important links. Go on the Cassandra Twitter page, shout out some videos. Even you can take the screenshot from this video, spread the words around. Follow them on Twitter, one. Second, join the Cassandra forum. That is the most important thing, guys. Go and sign up for the forum right away. The link is again in the video description. Third important part, join the Cassandra Discord. Make the valid contribution, and if you do it, definitely there will be something good waiting for you all. So yes, Sean, over to you. What we have for people.
Yeah, I tried to share my screen and it wouldn't.
Yeah, I have to add it to the stream, so I'll add it.
Okay, there we go. See, I was wondering why it wasn't working.
No. Here it comes.
Perfect. All right. So for those of you who are wondering, Cassandra, this is the Cassandra.io website, right? If you want to know where all the links are, you can click on community right here, and it will hopefully load. We can find literally anything you want. We can find our Twitter, our LinkedIn group, our forum, our Discord, anything that you want. And as Gaurav was saying, our forum obviously is going to be Discourse. I have our dark theme loaded here. And if we want to join our Discord forum, I'm going to say, all right, hi to everyone. But here is the swag piece that I'm talking about. So it's not going to be a headset, but it'll be a really nice Skull Candy Bluetooth earbuds. This is obviously not the company. We'll have something, but also I'll make a nice.
I have a confession. I also want to participate in this, and I want to showcase the face of Sarthak and Anand and Tanya, which I'm seeing on the backstage. But I want to bring them on the screen. So, guys, how you are feeling? Are you still not willing to contribute to Cassandra? What do you guys think of Anand, Sarthak, Tanya? Now, tell me one reason why you should not contribute to Cassandra, guys. Why you should?
I've already opened the new tab. GitHub is already there. So.
That's wonderful.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now, when I say code contributors, that doesn't mean you have to rewrite Cassandra. It could be anything. You all right? Figure out what you think you can add to it. Do a GitHub poll. Do a fork. Do whatever it is that you want to do. This is where I'm going to go back to Tanya's word. Be bold, right? Be confident that you have something to give. I'm going to go back to Sarthak. When you look at something new, right? Embrace it. Go all in. And then I'm going to go back to our friend Anant, right? Be part of a community. If you need help, others are here to help you. Contribute to them. They will contribute to you. And then to go back to Gaurav's point, all of us together, one world, one community. If we all work to help each other, those people who we help will help other people. And eventually, once again, I know it's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. High tide raises all ships. All right. And that's how we would like to leave. I would like to leave that message with everybody. This is how you can contribute. This is how you can grow as a professional, as a person. And this is how we all grow as a community. Gaurav, back to you, sir.
Rightly said. And I guess I can echo one of the sayings from Oscar Wilde, saying the smallest act of kindness is worth more than the grandest intentions. So what you have shown up, you have given us a reason to code back again. All the viewers, guys, spread your words into your community that, hey guys, if you contribute to Cassandra, write something good, share the articles, share the screenshot from this video, do tag your thoughts that what do you think, why we are on the mission, or why Team Cheers with Gaurav, Sean, and people like Anand, Tanya, Sarthak believes in one world, one community. What is your thought on one world, one community? Take the screenshot from this video, tag me, Sean, everybody from the Cassandra community, from the data stacks, and let them hear the voice. Reach out to us for any help that you want. And I have always believed that teaching kids how to feed themselves and how to live in a community is responsibly is the center of an education. We all should know how to contribute to the community. We all should know that, hey, there are some great people out there who are working towards the benefit of the community, benefit of others, benefit of you. One of the perfect example is Bart Ferrer. Means when I met him, trust me, this guy amazed me a lot with his energy. The way he transformed the words into a rap and flows with the emotion. So I guess this is something incomparable that he is doing. So all big shout out to all the community, wonderful communities across the globe. That's why I keep on saying that one world, one community. So before what we have promised to Sean, that we'll teach him something in Hindi. Sarthak, Tanya, Anand, do you want to share your experience from this podcast? Because I'm just wow with all the things that Sean has put it across, all the things Tanya, Sarthak, and Anand, you guys have brought up. This shows me another side of you. So thank you so much for bringing that part up. Over to you all. Why don't you share your experience, Sean, live and tell him, you know, yes, you have done something great. Over to you all, guys.
Okay.
I think this was a great experience. That was a great experience, Sean, to talk with you. And thanks to Team Cheers with Gaurav. Thank you, Gaurav, for giving such a great opportunity. Today, I've learned a lot about community, and will surely impose that one world, one community rule will be there. And we will surely think about, I will also communicate with my friends, LinkedIn, all my community channels, that what we learn today is something we can't learn in the classroom or in the college. It's totally when you in the community phase, when you are in the open source world, then only you can learn these types of things. Thank you, Sean, for such a great session.
I would just like to add one thing that like this is something which I follow. Like you never know, who is going to inspire you. So,
Hmm.
and if there is anyone in this world or anyone anywhere, okay, who is going to be inspired by you, make sure that you are doing the best thing possible for them so that they can achieve more.
Those are great words. Really good, Anant. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I just want to say that I found you really friendly and very cheerful. I wasn't expecting that while like being a part. Like when Anand sir told me you have to be part of this, I was like, I won't. I don't know how to be like. But all of you guys are very cheerful, very friendly, interactive, and everything. Thank you for answering all these questions, and I will try to spread a word about these communities as far as possible. Thank you.
Well, thank all three of you for being here today and taking a chance. As we mentioned earlier, right? Being bold, taking a chance, being confident in what you do. I thoroughly enjoyed your questions. I thought everybody here really brought something unique to the table. So thank all three of you for being here today. And Gaurav, thank you for hosting. It was absolutely wonderful. And to all the people who are in the community, whether you're morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, I hope you all enjoyed today. If you have questions, some of you have already tagged me on LinkedIn. I've accepted all of them. I am always around to ask any question anytime. And as Tanya said, I'm always talking. So just feel free to reach out for any question. Even if you just want to just chat about whatever we talked about today or want to do a deep dive, I would love to do that for you. So thank everybody for being here. Stay safe, stay healthy. And Gaurav, back over to you. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it.
So, Sean, thank you so much for that, all the wise words. And thank you so much, Tanya, Sarthak, and Anand, especially, for coming up and showing up so positive energy that what we did. Now, one takeaway would I would say that Sean has taught us contribute to Cassandra or contribute to the community that we wish to. It's not about just the Cassandra. Contribute something, help each other, right? So Anand Sarthak and Tanya will relate to it. There is one of the very famous movie in India talking about Munna Bhai MBBS. And I couldn't have thought of best. And that movie has one friend, Sean, means that friend who is always there for someone who always help you in no matter what. But what he says, right? If you have said something, do it. So we'll teach you that dialogue, and that dialogue is in Hindi, and that is very easy to say. But you have to be in a very cool and like very ease to say that dialogue, and that dialogue is like, "Bhai ne bola." So you can repeat after me. So it's like, "Bhai ne bola."
Can we write it down? I am
Okay,
not.
I'll just say it one word, one after the other. So you can just say it like,
Okay.
"Bhai," "bhai." That means brother.
So hi or bye?
"Bhai," "bhai."
Bahai.
"भाई ने बोला
Bahai ne bola.
करने का
Karne ka.
मतलब
Matlab.
करने का."
Karne ka.
भाई ने बोला
Oh, wait,
करने
somebody
का
wrote
मतलब
that.
करने का.
Bahai ne bola.
That means
Karne. Wow. You know what?
yes.
How about I just try this one? Dhanyavad.
Oh my God, that is so cool. Also, धन्यवाद means thanks, and for sure that's cheers. But before we go, so thank you so much for भाई ने बोला करने का तो करने का. Sean has told us to contribute to Cassandra. Sean has said us भाई ने बोला करने का तो करने का. Guys, do tag us on all the social media handles wherever you find that up. And more importantly, Sean, whenever we find so joyful at Cheers with Gaurav, we raise our hand like this and we say bale bale. I guess that is very easy to say. So we just raise our first fingers like this. All of you, Sarthak, Tanya, join me in this celebration, guys. You have made it possible, and let's do bale bale.
Bale bale.
Balle, balle.
Yay! So means this is something you have made it so easy, Sean. Means I can't thank you enough. Dhanyavad from the entire team. Cheers with Gaurav. We love the energy. We love your vibe, and we all are geared up to contribute to Cassandra. We'll surely make some noise on Discord, on their LinkedIn, or on Twitter. Ask your people that yes, Team Cheers with Gaurav is geared up. They are coming your way. So thank you so much, Sean. Thank you so much, Anand, and all the viewers. Thank you very much for supporting us. Keep learning, keep hustling. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers,
So,
cheers.
thank you so much, Sean. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here with us. And to all the people, what I have always believed in, that one of the most important thing you can do on this earth is to let people know they are not alone. So spread the wise word into your community, to your connection, to your Twitter friends, to all the way wherever you think that yes, there is somebody who needs to look at the Cassandra project. Mark to my video or to their Discord channel or to the forum. I'll see you with another exciting video lined up for you. Please, please, please. I guess Sean should say this part, and this will create a bigger impact. Sean, please, can you ask all the viewers to please like, share, and subscribe to Cheers with Gaurav, because I'm doing something very good. So, yeah.
So, for everybody who is wondering why we're asking that, it's not so that Gaurav's back end can expand. It's so that the algorithm that is on YouTube will actually be able to be beaten, right? Because the algorithm on YouTube, it puts the popular stuff first. So, subscribers, likes, notifications, they all help to beat the machine. All right, let's all rise up and beat the machines. Let's help Gaurav. Subscribe, like, and let notifications happen so that you can see future videos. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate your time today. I hope you all have a very pleasant evening, afternoon, or morning, and we'll be in touch very soon.
Thank you so much, Sean. Dhanyavad, as you told us again. So what I can say for you, whenever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for a kindness. And that's what defines Sean for me and for the entire team. Cheers with Gaurav. Thank you so much for bringing so kindness to our channel, so much swags to our channel and to me and to Anand, Tanya, and Sarthak. You guys deserve that too. One swag box on your way, guys, for showing up that courage that yes, you are live up here. And this message to all the viewers, that if you want to join me live someday, you will definitely get a chance. And why not? Some swags are the motivation for you. I'm up ready to give up my swags to you all. So keep learning, keep sharing, and do tag us on all the social media handles wherever you find us from this channel. So guys, let's give them a swag post so that yes, they can take that screenshot and post it on our social media. So if you can raise up thumbs or victory sign, it will be great for us. Thank you so much, guys. Cheers. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you with another exciting video lined up soon.